This is now 2 days in a row. Will, what do you say? Let's make this an every night occurrence. We're going to do explain yourself every evening. New creators, new projects every night, 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. Will, is it a go?
Let's do it. Although I don't think my pocketbook can handle it, but we'll try.
You'll need a lot of coffee. I happen to know where you can get some.
I think we might find out a little bit of a little caffeine boost this evening. No, Will and I were on last night talking about some little campaign that might come up in the 30-second pitch, and with the Last Ember people about Curiouser. So we are happy to do it 2 days in a row, and I think that is as long as my old man body can do this, staying up late and talking. But we're going to get through this. I did power myself up with some coffee, not Tarmuck's yet, but we are going to work on that. And so we've got two projects so far. We've got another one coming in, and who knows, maybe a special guest for a fourth. But why don't we? I've already said Tarmuck. So Lindsay or Jail, whoever wants to introduce your campaign as if you were at a con and someone was walking past your booth and you needed to get their attention in 30 seconds.
You want to do rock, paper, scissors for it?
Yeah.
This is high stakes.
Oh, crap. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wait, does that mean you do it or I do it?
No, that means you have to do it.
All right, here we go.
I won. I get to not do it.
Cthulhu wants you asleep. Tarmux keeps you awake.
Done. Yeah.
That's it. That was like
right.
less than 5 seconds, but
what are you selling? I'm buying it.
Yeah.
we've got a 16-page mini comic that will tell you how drinking your daily dose of go juice keeps Cthulhu and his creepy kin, the great old ones, fast asleep beneath the Pacific Ocean. We've also got a reusable mug for you to drink your coffee out of, and we've actually got Tarmuck's brand coffee to put in that mug.
That is awesome. All right, we're going to hear a little bit more about that in a short time, but our buddies Kat and Phil are back with another round of buy visibility. If someone was passing you, yep. I think Phil literally gave the game up. So Kat just waited till he was done. All right, go for it. I'm going Bester Booth.
Okay, so Buy Visibility, a graphic novel anthology all about bisexuality, with genres ranging from romance to slice of life to sci-fi to action to vampire to reality TV. There's sure to be something to love for everybody.
That is awesome. And I just saw somebody pop in on a drive from work. He said he wasn't going to be more than 5 minutes late, and he's not. Blake McCarthy, how the heck are you, buddy?
Frozen.
He's here, but he's frozen.
Cryo sleep.
I want to thank Blake for doing his best Kevin Joseph impersonation. It is usually my computer that does this, so we're honored to have somebody who freezes like I do. Blake, what we're doing now is a 30-second pitch for Territory, as if I was at walking past your booth at a comic convention.
Definitely. So one, thanks for having me. But Territory is a post-apocalyptic kaiju epic miniseries where the remaining people worship the kaiju as gods. So we've got issues 1 through 3 on Kickstarter right now, and it'll be a 5-issue series overall.
That is awesome.
Sounds awesome.
So you have kickstarted. We're going to keep you on the hot seat since you just got in. You haven't had a chance to even get comfortable.
I like it, jumping right in.
Literally want to thank you for coming straight from work. We do this late, but not late enough for everybody.
No, I appreciate you having me on. Sorry I was late, but I'm happy to make it.
No worries. Actually, I'm going to let you settle in, and then let's do some old gods. Let's do a deep dive in the Cthulhu, where I believe the elder gods are sleeping deep in the ocean. So if you guys could share the page, and Blake, while they're setting this up, if you don't mind opening up your Kickstarter page, you're going to share it with us when it's your time, and show us the artwork and your team as you control it. We're trying something new on Explain Yourself, where I have less control and I can ruin fewer things.
Okay, so you want us to share Tarmax now, right?
All right? Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I think I can.
I think you
Working?
can. I see
All
it.
right. What?
There we
Awesome.
go.
Technology.
So what do you think? We have a like 2-minute video. Can we start with that? Is that okay? Can we just play the
We
video?
can certainly try and see if the audio comes through. And
Oh, I didn't
if
think
it, let's try it. Let's see what happens. I'm here for experiments. I am here to mess stuff up. I'm trying to
well,
curse
I don't
less.
want to mess stuff up.
No, come on. Listen, put something on fire, see what happens. Let's hit play.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I'm putting it on fire.
Fingers crossed,
You all
here we
ready
go.
for some fire?
Tell us if you can hear it.
I can hear it. Yeah.
Not fire, it's working.
Hi, I'm Lindsay G. I am the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Oneshi Press and the co-writer of Tarmuk's Origins.
Hi, I'm J.L. Draco. I'm the co-founder and lead designer of Oneshi Press, and I'm the co-writer of Tarmuk's Origins.
I think we can all agree that starting the day without coffee is a horror too eldritch to be endured.
Not only that, but Cthulhu and his friends feed off the energy you give off when you're sleeping.
Luckily, Tarmuk's brand corporate coffee is here to keep you awake.
Together, with illustrator Michael Abstracto, we've created a 16-page comic about why you need to drink your daily dose of Tarmuk's Go Juice to keep the world safe and the old ones at bay.
We're pairing this eco-friendly, sustainably produced 16-page full-color comic with a bag of direct trade, sustainably sourced Get Java coffee.
And an earth-friendly, BPA-free, top-rack, dishwasher-safe, biodegradable, reusable Tarmuk's cup.
Together, Oneshi Press and Tarmuk's Coffee are going to save the world. And we're not stopping there. We've partnered with One Tree Planted to plant a tree for every single backer on this campaign.
We're bringing this project to Kickstarter, a community-oriented platform that brings creators together with like-minded readers.
To entertain, enlighten, and do good in the world.
Kickstarter also helps bring creators together with other creators.
We've partnered with 2 other paradigm-shaking Cthulhu comic creators to bring this campaign to life.
You can also order this decaf blend, Cthulhu is Hard to Caffeinate, paired with Cthulhu is Hard to Spell 2, The Terrible Twos, by creator Russell Nolte of Wannabe Press.
You can also find Cocoa is for Cthulhu, a hot cocoa mix paired with the C is for Cthulhu Eldritch Kids board book.
That's in addition to our Tarmuk's Coffee, reusable mug, 16-page comic, all available here alongside
The Tarmuk's theme song by David Geringer of Next Arc Studios, stickers, postcards, and Eldritch art prints from J.L. Draco.
Cube Cthulhu, a cube craft paper toy of Cthulhu, and this laser-etched, multicolored, light-up Tarmuk's crest.
With your support, we're ready to save the world with you. Just scroll back up, find the pledge level that works for you, and smash that Back Now button.
Thank you so much for your support. We couldn't save the world, make these cups, comics, and coffee, and plant these trees without you.
Thank you! Oneshi Press and Tarmuk. Damn it.
With Michael Abstracto, we've
Nope. I don't have it.
You can also order this decaf blend.
Nope. Sorry.
It's also available alongside. Maybe I should wait for that helicopter. And this Cube Cthulhu Cube Craft paper.
Ta-da! All right. Good.
Oh, that is awesome.
And there we have it.
That's the whole thing in that video.
So we had a lot of fun making that video. I don't know if you could tell.
You did all that work editing it, and all you had to do was just put in the bloopers. And
Honestly,
Right.
that's like the only part. We always put the bloopers at the end to like get people to watch the whole video because
yeah.
it's starting to leak that like, you know, now that this is our like 12th campaign, people realize we always have bloopers at the end. So, you know.
It's always worth it for the bloopers.
It's like a Burt Reynolds movie. You got to stay for the credits.
Yeah. Or
I don't
like,
know
you
why.
know,
I went 20 years back when I could have said MCU. What the hell is going on?
I was like, should I point this
Sure.
out? I was like, no, just be nice, Jill. Be nice.
Burt Reynolds, why not?
That's all right. I'm sticking with Burt till the end.
You know, I appreciate that. That's
Me and Boyd for life.
boy.
So okay, so you've got the comic, you've got the coffee. Which idea came first?
So I think originally it was like 2012. We had a scene. Was it Tracy Queen or Pack?
I don't remember.
One of them had to go to a coffee shop. Tracy Queen, one of our series, she's addicted to coffee. And in the other series, Pack, they're always meeting up at a coffee shop. So I had to come up with a coffee shop, and I was like, yeah, I wanted to have that like kind of the corporate coffee vibe, but obviously I don't want to get sued, at least not until I've positioned myself so that if someone tried to sue me, I could use it for really good PR.
Right.
Just, you know what I mean? So like, I just whipped this up and I was like, well, there's that mermaid brand. And I'm like, what could trump
Which
that?
shall not be named.
Like, what's the most evil thing? And I was like, Cthulhu,
Mhm.
So it started as just like a tongue-in-cheek kind of joke to put in the background. And you'll notice throughout Tracy Queen and Pack and Mr. Guy,
There's all kinds of Tarmuk jokes.
there's always Tarmuks, but there's also like, there's Big Mart, that's like the box store brand. There's Schwisky brand whiskey. Like we have all of these just little faux brands that we're
Oh, I
always.
cannot wait for your Kickstarter where you got whiskey.
Oh, we're
working
working on it. We're working on it.
It'll probably be
gotta-
on Zoop though. Kickstarter won't let you do alcohol.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure
conquer
that out.
Zoop next.
But we've got so here's our Schwisky sticker. I don't know if you can see that. We've got our food holes, all kinds of stuff. Farm State Mutual Insurance because you're gonna need insurance. Tons of brands like that. So Tarmux has been a favorite of ours for 12 years now.
Java.
Going back 10, 12 years. And we were like, yeah, let's actually get this cup made and let's get this coffee made. And then we were like, well, all of our fans are like our audience, they're all comics audience. They're going to be like, what are you doing? You're making a cup, And I'm like, but it's a cup from the comic, but that might be a little abstract. So we were like,
We need a backstory for Tarmux, the brand, to tell people why it's such a big deal, and how Cthulhu got involved. Mm-hmm. So we came up with this whole backstory about how drinking your Tarmux actually helps to keep Cthulhu and his pals safely asleep, so that they don't ravage our world, because they harvest dream energy. So came up with this whole backstory about how we came up with Tarmux and got all of that caffeine into everybody's veins. And we partnered up with illustrator Michel Abstracto, who did the illustrations for this gorgeous little comic. And the rest, as they say, is history.
No, that is an awesome idea. Now, I saw a tweet stream today, Lindsay, that you put out about, we try to stay positive. So we're going to not talk about why we need to do good in this world. I think people probably know. But what are some of the things that you guys are doing with this campaign where you feel like you're bringing some good into the world with this campaign?
Well, JL and I, since day one, we've always been really focused, particularly on environmental issues and on social justice issues. And sometimes it can feel a little bit like, as storytellers, we're not really expected to do that kind of work, like we're not hardcore activists, we're storytellers, but we've always thought it was really important to put our ideals into our storytelling in whatever way we can. And this campaign seemed like a really good idea to marry the storytelling aspect of it with a little bit of actual activism. Because, the comic is tongue-in-cheek and it's pretty silly and it's a really fun story about saving the world. But we wanted to put our money where our mouth was on that also. So we have a whole bunch of initiatives on this campaign particularly, but also continually in everything that we're doing, we're trying to make ourselves greener and safer and better. So for this campaign, we're working with Short Run Printing, who we always print with. They're an American printing company that uses recycled and sustainably sourced paper and non-toxic inks and actively works to cut out as much waste as they can from their production system. So we're getting the comics printed there. We have these cups coming in. They're actually biodegradable, BPA-free plastic. They are dishwasher safe and they're reusable. So we are keeping as much plastic as we can out of landfills that way. And the coffee that we're getting from Comics on Coffee, which is an amazing company that likes to work with comic book creators, we're getting naturally grown. We can't say the big ORG word because technically they don't have all of these certifications in place, but they use all natural methods in their farming. They use no pesticides. Actually, one of the types of coffee that we're getting from Honduras is pollinated by bats that live on the farm. It's like so cool.
And it's fertilized by the bats that pollinate them.
Right.
It is like legit, you know?
Yeah.
And actually, that's the reason why they can't say they don't have organic certification is, I mean, it's literally a farming village. Like direct trade is like a step above fair trade. You're like actually paying the farmers and the villagers directly. You're not paying a corporation that works with them, you know, and it's like the money goes straight to them and they're, you know, it's basically that's how they sustain them, their lives, their village, you know. It's really cool. We're very proud of that. It's a great connection.
And on top of all of that, we've decided that for every backer on this campaign, we are going to plant a tree.
Every backer for every campaign from now on.
Yeah.
Every single backer we ever get, that's a tree planted in a massive, massive global reforestation effort.
Yeah. So I don't know. What I had posted on Facebook that you're mentioning, Kevin, is, you know, sometimes things can feel overwhelming. And I just think it's important that we all remember that we are capable of doing the good that we're able to do if we try. And so this is, you know, one way that we're keeping our hopes up and keeping our chins up by doing as much good as we can with everything that we make. So yeah, that's that.
Well, David says that the art is so good, Abstracto is a legend. So you're obviously doing something right with the artwork. So
I was actually just talking to David earlier today. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I love David so much. I want to shout him out because David is amazing. He's done music for our last several projects now. And
was he the?
Oh yeah. And the whole music to the video, that was like just his like first draft. Like,
oh wow,
like. He was like, I don't have any, it's not ready yet. And I was like, just show me what you have. And he showed it to me and I was like, dude, this is awesome. He's shown me versions since then that are just like amazing. And he's going to break out his clarinet. I was actually just recording some of my 20s radio guy voice with him earlier today. 20s radio guy is like
this is 20s radio.
He's the host of the comic, the narrator, if you will. And he's like a weird character voice that I do. That I've been doing for years. I don't know why. And then one day, my show Abstracto drew 20s radio guy for one of our other comics. And I was like, yep, that's it. That's canon now. Awesome. We got to use him. So that's really fun. But yeah, so one of the things David was talking about with me is how much good we can do, not just with our stories and not just with all these initiatives out in the world, but also who we're working with and who we're supporting and the community that we're growing and the strength that fosters for people that have been kept out, marginalized, pushed down, pushed out, you know, like inviting all different people from all different walks to tell their stories. That in itself is another way that we can do good in the world, you know, and we're just trying to do good every way that we can because like you said, we're going to stick to the positives, but you know, the world could really use more good. It always can, right?
No, even in the best times, we can always
even in the best
a little more good.
A little more good. Why not, right?
Scroll down real quick and show some of our add-ons that we've got. So we got these Cthulhu plushies.
You know, he comes up at just about every show for good reason, but that Tyler James, he knows what he's doing.
Tyler is awesome.
Yep.
Tyler is such an awesome person.
We're so happy to be working with him on this campaign. We've also got all the types of beverages that are available on the campaign. You can get on their own or you can get a 3-pack. So we've got the decaf coffee and we've got the cocoa. And then you can also get a 9-pack where you get 3 of each.
And those are just add-ons.
Yeah, these
so
are just
like you
add-ons.
pick your pledge at whatever level, you know, and then you can get all these things as add-ons.
And we've got
Cool.
cute Cthulhu. You can say 5 times fast and get one for free. And that's about it. That's about our campaign.
Well, I'm going to ask you one thing on the comic. Is this a one shot, or is there any way that we come back to the Tarmuk's world of comic, or is this kind of just a one pamphlet and done?
Well,
so in our Oneshi-verse has like meta levels. Like Tracy, Queen, and Pack very much exist in the same world.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, Mr. Guy is a comic in that world. And some of the characters in that world love their Mr. Guy comics.
Okay.
And now in Mr. Guy's world, that's where this story of Tarmuk's takes place. And that is Dearth. That is the name of their Earth. So on planet Dearth, this story takes place. And this takes place alongside Mr. Guy and alongside the Zombie Adoption Program, which is another one of our ongoing series. And then on that world, their comic that's like a super popular comic is Catfish, this little guy. And Catfish is Mr. Guy's favorite comic, but also Catfish can appear anywhere or be reading anything because he's kind of like a meta god.
yeah, Catfish likes Tracy Queen a lot.
Yeah, so he's like a cartoon character, so he could do anything. He has no
Yeah.
So there's like levels of reality here. And they do kind of loop around, and it is a little interesting like that.
So there's plenty of room for things to come back around. We don't have anything specific planned for Tarmuk's.
I do.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
So there's one thing. 20s Radio Guy is actually related to one of our other characters who shares the same last name.
You can tell us. You can tell us everything. You can spill it all. We'll edit it out.
Okay.
We never edit a darn thing.
Blur this, bleep this, whatever you got to do. But 20s Radio Guy is actually Mr. Guy's grandfather.
Okay.
So that you knew that. But
so he's from the not goblin half of the family.
He's from the fuckboy half of the family.
Yeah. So
can I say that? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, okay. Mr. Guy is half goblin, half fuckboy. So 20s Radio Guy is like OG fuckboy. Yeah. You know, like,
who knew?
He's got those little like arm garters, sock garters, the hat, the bow tie. He's like, you know, he smells like juniper. I don't know.
Probably a bowler. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. I'm going to pull up the where's the banner for this one?
I feel like I also just threw a lot of names of other series out that
they're all great.
I'm not trying to be confusing. I promise they're all pretty cool. I like them. We like them enough to have been working on them for like a decade. So, you know, they're probably pretty cool. I'm just saying.
No, that's awesome. I think what I did was I forgot to put the Tarmuk's banner in there. That's our issue. You got it?
I got it.
Do you?
Do we need to send you something?
No. You just need me to get some coffee and wake up.
Wake up.
All right.
Stay awake. Cthulhu wants you asleep.
Yes. So I'm going to pop the thing back out. So how did you figure out how to do the, because I may be stealing unrepentantly the tree planting idea. So how did this come about, and what would a comic creator who just had 319 backers who might want to surprise them with a late and secret stretch goal go about doing this?
That's awesome. Well, it's through this organization called One Tree Planted. And I have been planting trees with them for years. Basically, you can like just donate money and plant some trees, or a lot of the time for people's birthdays or Mother's Day or Father's Day, that kind of thing, I'll buy, you know, like 25 trees or something and send that as like a gift certificate kind of thing to people. I'm big on trees. I love trees, and I think trees can mostly save the planet if we let them. So that's just been a thing that I've been doing for a while. And this past Mother's Day, JL and I got trees for both of our mothers. And he was like, why don't we make this part of what we do as a business also? So we actually reached out to One Tree Planted and talked to them about a partnership, like an official partnership that I'm not as clear. I think you did more of the communication with them about what exactly that means, but basically we're officially partnered. So I think we can get sort of like a certification of trees having been planted after the fact that we can then show to our backers to say like, yes, this happened. And one cool thing about One Tree Planted is depending on how you go about planting the trees, you can ask them to either plant your trees wherever they're most needed in the world, or you can choose an area. So you can, get trees planted in Africa or Europe or South America or wherever is close to your heart.
Or like in your enemy's driveway.
You have enemies?
I got one or two.
You have to tell your enemy then to like wait for 20 years for it to really kick in.
This is going to be really inconvenient eventually.
Yes.
I swear.
But they're a great organization.
You just wait.
Actually, when I gave my mother some trees planted for Mother's Day, she's sort of a wonderful busybody. And she was like, oh, I don't know about this organization. Are you sure that they're legit? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they're legit. And she's like, well, I'm calling them. So she called them and got somebody on the phone and like grilled them about whether this money was actually going to tree planting or not. And I'm happy to say they passed the test.
If it can pass Mom's test, then we know that they're on the up.
Yeah, exactly.
They're above board.
that is awesome.
You can just write to them. You can call them. They'll set up like a Zoom meeting with you. They'll talk you through it. They're awesome. Their social media campaigns are great. They're really responsive. They're just an awesome company.
Yeah.
They're really fantastic.
For me, like, as I said, I'm a big tree person. I've always been into trees, and it's always been sort of a weird dichotomy for me that I love books and I want to make books, and they are made of trees, but I love trees. Right. So this feels like a really good way to actually give back. I am certain that in the end, if we keep doing this, I will have planted far more trees than I will have made books out of. So that's cool.
And I mean, also our comics too, being on FSC certified mixed paper, that means that they're from a mixture of recycled sources or sustainably harvested paper. So trees are replanted as they harvest trees for that paper. And all of these things, they cut into our profits a little bit, but like, I mean, all right, so maybe we just tighten our belts for a minute here or there, but like, what
Listen, every indie comic creator knows we're all making millions, and we can handle a little bit of cutting into our profits. We all know that the Bentleys are all parked in our driveway.
It's not even as much as you'd think. Honestly, like
trees parked in our driveway.
Some of the pricing I get for short run printing, it like is really, really good unless you're going over like, into like the several thousands of prints. Like if you're within 1,000 or two, like they just kill it on prices. And it's like super, eco-friendly. There's the guy that works there, Max, I talk to him all the time. He's like brilliant. He's super cool, super friendly, super helpful. Like I'm just, we're making partnerships. That's the way we look at it, right?
Right. Well, we're going to get to one of the other campaigns now, but first,
sure.
We have a surprise. Doug is with us. Doug, how are you, buddy?
Hello. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We wanted to talk about Project Big Hype, so we're glad that you got in here. Now we usually do a 30-second pitch, but we're going to give you a second to kind of roll in. We don't want to force you on it. Let's look at buy visibility. Kat and Phil, if you could share your page, and let's talk about the second volume of your anthology.
Sure. Oh, well, not that.
Avert your eyes.
Avert your eyes.
We now know who you have backed or who is backing you, one or the other.
All those reference links. But yeah, this is Buy Visibility, Still Buy. It's our volume 2 for Buy Visibility. And the only thing that's related to volume 1 is one story that continues. Other than that, we have all new storylines ranging from slice of life, vampires, reality television, Here's just some of those stories.
Superheroes.
Superheroes. And yeah, it's all about bisexuality. We're glad to be back. We have a cover from Lisa Sturl. We have artwork from people like Chris Sheehan, and this one's Maru's back. But yeah, we're super excited about having another volume. It's double size and just a plethora of different genres and different art styles, which is something we really wanted with this one. So
Will
yeah.
volume 3 be triple size?
Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna go that far. I think it'll probably just be as sized as this.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see. Yeah, we had so much fun with the first volume, and we told so many stories that like really resonated with us and people that we really wanted to come back and just tell more than double size this time around.
Mhm.
And we're really happy with. I think the final product is going to be 96 pages. It's going to have 16 stories,
Mhm.
and every single one of them is a very unique take on bisexuality. And even when there's genre overlap, like we have 2 superhero stories in here, they're just so different, and so many different voices. One other thing we wanted to do with this volume, if you scroll up a little bit, Kat, actually, is we wanted to kind of step into other worlds. So you can see Slice of Life here.
Here we go. I'm like, what are you talking about? Where do I have to scroll?
I knew you'd find it. So,
right.
We have a story from our webtoon, our queer webtoon, about an anime character who comes to life and falls in love with a cheerleader. And, we wanted to kind of merge audiences and give readers of the webtoon a reason to check out By Visibility if they hadn't already.
And then we also have Pat Shan.
Yeah, that was my next one.
Who is part of Destiny New York.
Yeah, exactly. We have Trinity's Exes from Pat Shand here, which follows a relationship from spinning out of Destiny New York and tackles the bisexuality of one character and a little bit of the insecurity that her boyfriend feels. And then, like Kat mentioned, we have a sequel to a story from the first volume.
Find it. I think it's scrolled up a little bit, so I'm going fast.
Yeah, so we really wanted to it's an anthology. It's new reader friendly. We don't want anyone to have to do any homework, but we also wanted there to be a reward for people who are fans of these other properties that they may have read elsewhere.
Yeah, and we're just super proud of this one and excited to see where it ends.
Yeah.
With double the amount of stories, did you have double the amount of entries from creators, or?
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot. I think we had like close to 200.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was exactly double the first, but it was more volume, and it took us a lot longer to curate.
There's a lot more stories. I think the first one we had a lot of submissions, but it was a lot of artists. This one we had a lot more scripts.
Correct.
Yeah, and a lot of diversity of scripts. Like one thing we really wanted to do with this one is have voices we didn't have in the first one. So we have a trans story who's actually our assistant editor who wrote it. And then we also have a lot more men stories. So we just wanted,
Ironically, the first volume of By Visibility ended up being very heavily leaning towards the women love women. We had some men love men stories in there, but just by virtue of the submissions we got, it was mostly, femme couples. And this time around, we were like, we have to make sure that we have even balance. And then
just a lot more.
Coincidentally, we got a lot more men love men stories this time around. Because
the market corrects itself.
The market does.
It definitely does. So we actually needed more women like women stories. Yeah. So we're just like knocking on people's doors, say, hey.
Yeah, we actually pulled in one last minute story from
Morgan
on the Legends of Tomorrow podcast, to give us another woman like woman. And I think now we have a really fair ratio, but I think it's just funny, the kind of things you don't think you have to think about when you're putting together an anthology to make sure everybody feels represented and has their voices seen. And nobody's being left behind.
This kitty cat's sticking out its tongue.
Yeah, it's a cutie.
I don't like cats. So.
No, you don't like cats, but there's so many cats in this anthology.
There is, and that's not for my choice.
Well, you guys also went with kind of a new thing. You've got a hardcover version of it this time, right?
Yeah, because we were able to make this a graphic novel. So we did an exclusive hardcover, which is the one you see here, which is the gender swaps of the original cover.
Yeah, so our first cover, which I'll just
jump all the way up.
I'm fast. So this is our main cover from Lisa Sturl, and it features the couple you see there. And then we have a gender swap
Not that
couple.
couple.
I don't have words anymore. Our brains are shut off from the packing. But and then we switched out the genders of one of the members of the couple for this version that's exclusive to Kickstarter.
And then if you're just looking for a hardcover that's not exclusive, we have those pets.
The super buy pets.
The super buy pets. So we have the dog, which is beautiful. And then we have this cat.
Who is also beautiful.
The only cat I like is that cat.
There's a lot of cats in this anthology.
There has to be a cat like in Minnesota that's cool. Come on.
I will say that Phil's cat is literally the only so his parents has like 9 cats, and I'm not joking.
7.
I don't like any of them. And then you got a cat, Molly. She's the only cat I like.
The cat you see on this cover is based on my cat, and the dog is based on Cat's dog. So
I am literally sitting here with a dog in my lap. I'm the biggest dog, and this is the most feline phobic moment of this show. And your name is
I never
literally
said I wasn't feline phobic. Like we could spread that rumor around.
I think it's awful.
I think we need to do a cat visibility anthology.
Yeah.
Cat should write a cat visibility.
No, you're not welcome.
Go.
Oh shit! My name's Cat.
No, you're still. You'll be the villain of every story in there.
I'll be like, I hate you. So it's me going to a cat's face, and be like, I don't like you.
Yeah, and then they'll kiss you, and you'll be like, oh man, I guess I'm just a bit.
Yeah, and then I'm like, all right.
But yeah, so we have our pets here.
Sorry, that went somewhere.
We've been on today. But yeah, we have our bipeds here who actually made their debut like a couple of months ago when we did our Buy Visibility pin collection where we introduced the Molly and the Cuddles, the dog and the cat pins, and we really want to bring them back in a big way this time around with this cover and maybe something else.
Maybe someone else that'll be announced next week. Will involve pets.
Yeah.
You can tell it here, like I said, we'll edit it out, no one will hear it.
I think we're going to keep it a secret.
This one's a secret.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it a secret.
It's not a well-kept.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
It's definitely not a well-kept.
It's not a vague secret. You will see more.
Secrets? Oh, man.
No, JL, it's an option in that I'm lying. So just take that into account when you make your decisions. I'm totally lying. Anything you say is out there because I'm not spending any time editing. That's the glory.
And we are also live.
Liar, pants on fire.
And hoodwinked.
So these mystery boxes. Let's hear about these. What are you? Because when I go to a convention, I see the mystery boxes. I get really angry because I know that they've just taken the worst things from a garage sale and charged idiots $60 for it. So I'm hoping that's not what my friends are doing.
No. So what we end up doing at conventions is that we had the box from our first campaign. I think it was the first time we did the advanced box and the standard box.
Yeah, which is just a collector's box. You could get all the rewards available on the campaign, or if you get the advanced one, you get all of our previously published comics.
And I had a lot of them.
We had boxes, these beautiful boxes.
Beautiful boxes. So we brought them to Comic-Con, and we're like, how about if there's an opportunity for people to get more buy stuff, but like in a collection, and people love mystery stuff. So it's like, here's like some pins or trading cards, and it's a mystery of what you get. So it's for people who enjoy all the products to buy, and
it's really cool because you could just like pick up trash off the street.
Yeah,
the box. Send it to Kevin.
Half-eaten food is in there.
In all seriousness,
I might be giving away something, but I did happen to read today that some of these boxes have something that isn't trash. So what kind of really special things might end up in one of these mystery boxes?
So a never before released product is there. This product's gonna be released in the next couple of months, but we have not released it. And
anything you see on the campaign can make it in. You might get comics from other series.
Might get a metal covers.
Yeah, metal covers. Things that we aren't making any more of. Maybe a foil cover that we have that we produced for a previous Kickstarter that is no longer available.
Which is like more rare because we're not printing it anymore. Yeah. So
we're very anal when it comes to the boxes. Like we very much. Make
sure it's all the price that you need.
We have to
get something special.
We want to make sure that every box is special in its own way, and that everybody who is getting one is getting something that is unique and like worth the dollars that you're throwing out for it.
And the buy box honestly has been so successful that we're doing other boxes. So we just went to Pride, New York. Actually,
We have a box.
we have a box. Oh, do we? We went to Pride, New York. We tried it for Slice of Life, and there's Haunting. So tomorrow we're going to Eternal Con in Long Island, and we're gonna try out the mystery boxes for our other products. So we have it for the Dancer and the Haunting. We're gonna try it out because we've only done it for the gay books. So.
Yeah. We were at New York Pride last Sunday, and we don't
know how to take a break.
We don't know how to take a break, and we had our buy box, our Slice of Life box, and they killed.
Oh, they literally. Oh my god, we sold how many? I think like 10.
I think altogether it was like 8 to 10. So.
And that's $60 a pop. So like that's pretty nice.
And we didn't have an upset customer. Everybody opened their boxes in front of us, and
they're like, "Whoa,
I got this."
We also open it in front of people so they know they're not getting an empty box.
Yeah.
And also, we need to know if the foil cover has been given. So we're like, we open it in front of them and be like, "Oh, this is what you got." And we've literally, I think only one time someone was disappointed they didn't get the foil cover.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's crazy! Thank you so much." And even if they don't get the special item, they're happy with.
We try to make up for it with other stuff in there. So the mystery box was so much fun. We had to bring them to the Kickstarter.
Cool. So how much is the mystery box tier?
On this one, I think it's either 60 or 70.
I think it's 70.
And if you happen to get the metal,
75.
the metal comic, that's what, like $50?
Exactly.
On its own?
Yeah, it's the best deal on the campaign. Like you are getting more than the value of what you're spending if you'd gotten these items individually.
And you're getting more diverse items too. Like, I mean, if you do a tier, to be like, oh, you get all the covers, cool, I guess. But then in a mystery box, you might get an opportunity to read Slice of Life, a book you might not have been on your radar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you'll get a cool pin, but you don't know which one.
We don't know which one. You do not know which pins, and we have a lot of pins. And honestly,
not going to be one of those goddamn cat pens. Not a cat.
I don't know. I won't be giving any cat pins.
Hey guys, guess what the most popular pin is?
No. First of all, the dog pin is just almost as popular.
Almost is the keyword, guys.
You counted. I hadn't even counted. He might be lying to me.
I counted.
Okay, I want it known that I wanted 2 dogs and no cats, but I decided not to rock the boat. So I want
Kevin, you're
a vote for
from
dogs.
the cat anthology.
We'll make our own anthology. It's against cats.
Kevin, was it you that was saying that there was at least one cool cat in Minnesota?
At least.
I heard
there
that,
might be one.
Yeah.
There was
I
like
don't
this
know.
cool
I won't
cat
know them.
named like John from Minnesota or something. And it was like, the cat just like walked in like with its like ears out and its glasses on, little like
That's a good
I don't know, toothpick hanging out of its mouth. And it was just like
I do like that as a toothpick. That sounds cool.
I feel like he's a pool player. He's a hustler. But I don't know.
For sure.
If he plays poker, we might be friends. Yeah,
I thought dogs just played poker. I didn't think cats played poker.
Cats are learning.
That's what I like about dogs. They play poker. So why am I liking
real.
cats?
Dogs would be terrible poker players.
Cats
That's
would
why I
be
want to play against them.
sharks. Cats would be
love
destroyed. Cats are masters of manipulation.
Yeah,
that's why they can't play.
It was fun today when we were packing.
Yeah, your cat goes on all the tables. Look, this is the only cat I like is Molly. She's a cute girl, love her, but she's destroys this room when we're packing. She just loves to keep us busy.
Yeah.
Do you have issues of Buy Visibility 1 in case somebody is coming on this campaign for the first time?
Yeah. So you can catch up with the issue 1 digitally, physically. I think there's an option for all the covers too.
Yeah.
So whichever
If you missed
like.
out on the first campaign, if you want to get some the covers from the previous issue, you can get them. We do a line of trading cards every time we release a new product. And
we decided to do all of them.
Yeah.
Which,
every story
crazy.
in the anthology has one trading card, so you could get a set from this this volume by Visibility Volume 2, or you could get from the first volume if you missed out. If you want to get the book plus cards with the characters, and we have a lot of fun with the card design. Just to show a few of them.
I will say that Phil's usually.
I have a lot of fun.
The person who does the trading card. I pick out the images.
Kat picks the images, and then I make all these fun card effects based on the story. And I don't know if anyone enjoys them except me, but I have such a good time making them.
I definitely have a good time. He's actually ready with his Excel sheet, saying, "Oh my God, I'll wait till we got these trading cards." He did it for my dancer cards too. He's not involved in the dancer at all. He's like, "I'll make your trading cards." I'm like, "Okay."
And if you were gambling in the comments, it is 45 minutes in when Excel was first mentioned. So
Yeah.
I was
whoever had 45 minutes gets
You have
the
the bingo
$1,000.
card.
You should make a bingo card when we come on. How long before we put our foot in our mouth?
I
How long
like
before
it.
we mention Excel?
All of it.
How long before Kat mentions hating cats?
I mean, you're a winner. I'm
Yeah.
helping you out.
Just for clarity, do Google Sheets count?
Yeah,
Yes.
Google Sheets.
Okay.
We had a Google sheet up right before we hopped on this call.
We did. We had
Excellent.
numbers up from Mac.
Oh, excellent. This is making me happy. I color
Oh, yeah.
code all the boxes and I do the whole.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Oh, no. Lindsay, please tell me you're not organized. Please tell me you're with Will and me and Kat, because these Excel Google people
I can't.
give me the hives.
I am an Aquarius. I rest my case. Virgo right here.
You know what? You need one on the team and the other on the team. Well, I want to make sure that we get to Blake and Doug. Is there anything else you really want to make sure we see before we step away?
No, just check out the Kickstarter. We are halfway through to our goal, or a little over halfway, and we have more than half of the campaign.
We still have 3 weeks left.
But we need your backings.
We're really excited. We think that this is bigger and buyer than ever. So
I love that.
There's even a pansexual in
and
it.
there's even a pansexual
And someone who doesn't have any labels.
and somebody who doesn't like labels. It's a book all about labels, so we wanted a story about someone who doesn't like labels. So we really think there's something for everyone, and we don't want just bi people to enjoy the book. We want people who aren't bi to learn about the issues and experiences that bisexual people experience. So
yes.
Right.
Thanks for listening to our spiel.
We're going to leave by visibility with the mortal words of Terry Pratchett via Shawnee Myers. In ancient times, cats were worshipped as gods. They have not forgotten this.
I think that's a lie.
I haven't forgotten. You forgot.
I don't need to even know.
The one thing I heard is that dogs look at humans and say, "You pet me, you feed me, you must be God." And cats say, "You pet me, you feed me, I must be God." And that's the difference between cats and dogs. Blake, I want to thank you for your patience. We want to get to territory real quick. Not real quick. We're going to give you a full deep dive, but if you can share your screen with that, where did your idea for territory first come from?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull this up.
Absolutely. And Doug, if you can, while he's doing this, if you could have Project Big Hype pulled up to share when we get to you, so we can do it. But while Blake's
I have it
picking
open.
up,
I'm just not sure how to share screen. That's the only problem.
there's a share screen in the StreamYard at the bottom. We'll get it to you. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And at the very worst, I'll pick it up on my screen.
Me clicking every
But then
button
you
right
have to
now.
have me kind of going through. That
Hey,
is it, Blake. Perfect.
Awesome. So this is Territory. Like I said, this is our third issue. It's a post-apocalyptic kaiju epic, and it's the big kind of twist on the book is that the people who kind of live in this post-apocalyptic world worship these kaiju as gods. So you got a lot of kaiju action, a lot of monster action, but it's really kind of a personal story about faith and belief, and how we kind of are raised and our beliefs are shaped by those around us, and then what happens when those beliefs are challenged, and how we react and how they change.
Does it have cats in it? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think there's any cats or dogs, so we're neutral in this debate.
We're waiting for the next one. We want the cat kaiju.
I like it.
Yeah.
Can it
We
be
could-
John from
They could
Minnesota
kill it.
with a toothpick? A giant toothpick?
Yeah.
The tree.
Yeah, it's just a tree. hanging out of
Maybe
his
we'll do it of each, and then we'll let them fight and see who wins.
Well, I saw that your editor is Nicole Deandra, who has been on the
Yes.
show and is almost literally a signpost to me of a good comic book. So how did you put your team together? And I know it must have been with skill and thought because Nicole is on the team. How did you bring your entire team together?
So yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. One thing that's kind of unique about our team is they're all international. So this is Chris here. He's the artist, does pencils and inks. He's based out of South Africa. Then we've got Ichsan on the colors. He's based out of Indonesia. We've got Marco on the letters. He's based out of Italy. And then me and Nicole are both based out of the U.S. So that's kind of been an interesting thing working with people across the world. This is the first time I've really done that. And how it came together was, I mean, this is my first series. This is really my first sort of creative endeavor at all. And I found Chris actually just through some Reddit posts and thought his art looked amazing. And so just reached out to him over Reddit and asked if he wanted to come on board. And he read the script and was into it. And then he had actually worked with Ichsan in the past, which was great because I had no idea what to look for in a colorist.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really nice that Chris and Ichsan have worked together. They have a really good relationship. So that kind of, he took care of that for me. And then just, kind of looking around for letterers, saw Marco's work popping up a couple times, and he hopped on. And then, as you mentioned, Nicole, she actually didn't join us till issue 2, and that's my biggest regret on the whole series is that I didn't have her on issue 1 because everything she's made the last 2 issues so much better, and I feel like if I'd had her on the first one, it would have been even better too. But she's on now, and she's here to stay. So
nice.
Yeah.
You said this is a 5-issue series?
Yes. So it's going to be a 5-issue miniseries. Originally, it was going to be 6 issues. And I'd actually written out 6 scripts. But again, once Nicole kind of came on board and I saw what someone who actually knows storytelling, once they kind of took a look at it, I realized that it would, I think, be a better told story if we cut it down to 5 issues. There are some things we could kind of combine and cut out some things that weren't really necessary. So
no, that's great.
5 total.
That's great that you kind of listened and dealt with whatever the suggestion was, because I could see myself almost bristling against a full issue. So I don't want to get into real specifics because I don't want to spoil the story, but how did those conversations go, and how were you as I'm going to say me, sensitive, wimpy little artist, able to listen to the real suggestions and take them? I think that's amazing.
I think like one thing, and especially being a newer creator, tried to be really open-minded and open to criticism because, I feel like I need to learn from people who have done this before. And so once she came on board, there was just a lot that, and she's been, very kind and polite about everything, but she's been, it just seemed like there's a lot that was kind of, either overwritten or it was just, I was kind of writing to fill space or something like that. And so just kind of seeing what she was able to, how she was able to clean up the story and make it so that it not only flowed better, but I think, was more interesting overall because there wasn't as much sort of unnecessary aspects to it. And so I think just kind of, listening to that and then kind of having a couple issues that seem to have each of them seem to have some parts that maybe weren't as necessary that kind of took the pace down a little bit. It was just kind of a natural fit to bring those back down to 1.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I really respect that. I don't want to belabor it. I just think that's really awesome that you were receptive to the thoughts, and you're going to have a better product by listening. But I think that as an indie creator, to listen to somebody that you technically hired, I think that says a lot about you.
Well, thanks. Like I said, I'm just glad. Like, I feel very fortunate to have this team. I feel like I've got to work with a lot of people who are really talented, and so as a new creator, like that's been a real blessing for me because places where I'm still learning and figuring, there's everyone else has kind of picked up the slack and made it look good. So it may look like, the story is flowing smoothly and stuff, but a lot of that's due to, the rest of the team's efforts in helping it come together as well as it has.
Will and I know about that. Looking good because of artists and editors.
Yes, that's the amazing thing about being a comics writer is you can write something, and then if you have an amazing artist, they'll make it look so much better than what you wrote, and you still get credit for it. So it's a win-win right there.
Comic book writers are quarterbacks who throw screen passes that go for 85-yard touchdowns.
Exactly. Like we're just, we're check down game managers, but
Yep.
as long as it all comes out, we still get, people are still happy. So
can a backer who's just hearing about this catch up on the issues?
Yes. So we do have a couple of catch up bundles. So we have our digital one, for people who prefer digital or, especially international backers who don't want to pay the international shipping. So we do have that. And then we also have our physical catch up, which will give you all three of the main covers. And then one thing that another really fortunate person that we found to work with is Martha Womersley. She's been a variant cover artist who has done one for all three covers. And she's got this really cool, unique style of drawing these kaiju, this really kind of neon, colorful, crazy kind of style. And so we've had three different monsters in the books. And so we've had her draw one of the monsters for each of the first three issues. And so we wanted to give people a chance to get all of her work in one issue or one bundle.
Those are so eye-catching.
Yeah, and that was when she agreed to do the first one. We were really, I was really blown away with her work, and so I pretty much told her after the first one, I was like, I would like to have you back as long as you'll keep coming back. And fortunately, she's agreed, and she keeps putting out amazing work. And yeah, they're so totally different from almost any other cover you see that I think it'll at least pique people's curiosity when they look at it.
And who designed your logo? Because that one jumped out at me the first second I saw your Kickstarter.
So that was actually Chris, the artist for the book. I just, kind of told him a general idea of what I wanted something, kind of rough and primal, something kind of broken by these big monsters. And that's what he came back with on the first try, which I think just speaks to, his talent as far as a creator and not just an artist, but he's got a really good visual design sense and a really good sort of visual storytelling sense. And so he's done a lot of work on this book.
That's awesome. I don't want you to give this away, but let's say you get to issue 5, you say the end. And someone comes up to your show and says, is there any possibility of a story in this world? Is there any chance that there could be a Territory miniseries volume 2?
Yes. So this story that I've got in mind for these 5 issues has a pretty definitive ending. I do have a story in mind for this world, but it would be sort of a separate story. So I like this world has been really fun to play in. I think one of the things that we've done really well, and just having such a great art team is we've really built an interesting sort of unique post-apocalyptic world. The tribes have a unique look, the kaiju have a unique look, the world itself has a unique look, and so I think I've got a story for an idea for another story in the world that's not necessarily connected to this one, but would still have the same feel just because the world has been built out so well by everyone on the team.
It's weird to think of a kaiju story having a sequel because they just stopped at the first Godzilla.
Yeah. They don't like adding new monsters or just adding random stuff in there. That's definitely not a genre trope at all.
No, I'm glad you can come back to it. That's really cool. So what is one tier that you'd really hope people saw? I know you brought up that artist variant, which was very cool in the catch-ups. Is there one other tier that you'd really hope people know about from this show?
So we have, I think just all the variant covers are all cool. We have a bundle with all the variant covers. I think one thing that I'm a little surprised hasn't kind of taken off like maybe I thought it would is this pendant bundle. So this kind of wooden pendant you see here, the main character Alkia actually wears throughout the story. Here, sorry, let me find her real quick. So we actually had some of these wooden pendants made, just like she wears in the story, and it's just kind of a cool in-world item. And there's been a couple people who have bought it, but I thought it's just kind of to me, like, that's kind of the unique thing about Kickstarters. You can really get connected to some of the stories, get some unique items from the world, and so that's kind of our biggest like in-world item that we offer.
No, that's pretty cool. All right, well, let's I want to make sure we get to Doug before it gets too late. We can always come back and hit things if we need to, although
Did we just lose Doug?
I think we got him back. What happened is Will and I tried to get rid of the that stream at the same time, and I knocked Doug out of the thing. But welcome back, Doug. It's good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Have you had a chance to pull up the page? And on the bottom screen, there's a share tab. You should be able to hit that, and we should be able to get Project Big Hype.
It's not showing. Is it because I'm on a tablet? Is that the problem?
That could be. Why don't I just pull up the page on my end?
I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. I mean, this is Will and I just show up on Friday nights and like to talk comics. We're not too worried about
things like planning,
appearances, professionalism. That is not really what we're here for. We're here to have a blast. Have a blast with some comic creators. And so this is your second Project Big Hype. And I want to just start with 385 pages.
Yes.
Are you crazy?
The goal is always 400 because that's the limit, but we just keep not getting there. So hopefully one day we'll get a chance to do that.
You are such a slacker, not getting to 400 pages.
I know.
So what is Project Big Hype in the macro sense, and then let's get to volume 2.
Sure. I always describe it as we saw a need for a Shonen Jump for everybody else. That kind of 2000 AD place for new creators to kind of get their teeth cut. I don't know. Is that the saying? Anyways,
we'll allow it.
And so I really tried hard to get as many big creators I could to try to kind of anchor the book and have them do like 20-page stories to kind of tell a whole first issue of something, alongside a bunch of new and up-and-comers or some voices that we don't get to hear a lot of, and give them a spot to do some pages that maybe they can use to kickstart their own campaign or use as a pitch to a publisher or something like that. So that's the big idea behind this project.
Now I see that you use the term manga. Is this a very specific to that genre, or could anybody with any idea kind of get within Project Big Hype?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of variety here. There's a definitely American comics aesthetic as opposed to a manga setting, but I just wanted that kind of fusion. That was the original goal, was to try to get that fusion of Japanese, the manga and the Western comics, and see how it would look.
How did you get the team together? I mean, with this many creators, how did you juggle this?
Sure. So I deploy a army of editors. There is, I think, 13 on this one. And what I do is when I'm getting ready to announce the project, I go out to a bunch of creators that I think would be awesome for the book. And I say, hey, I'm sorry to bug you. Would you be interested? And pretty universally, I get yeses, which is crazy because you would think, what? But people are into the idea. And so I've been lucky to get people involved in it. And then we open up submissions so we can try to find people that we wouldn't have ever heard of. And it's been really awesome. One person I really like to champion out of the 2 volumes is Alan Flores, and he has been amazing. We've done, it's not been the same editors each time, but we've gone, right here is the story of the sci-fi one, and he just blows us away with his ideas for stories that we are like, it's one of the highest rated people. And so it's so awesome to find these kind of people and give them a chance to have a bigger audience that they wouldn't have been able to have,
Do each of the teams handle? I mean, it looks like it's black and white.
Yes.
Do each of the teams handle their own lettering as well? So it's kind of every team is individual.
Yes, everybody handles their own the editing. I mean, lettering and everything, every screen tones, everything.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Cool.
What is you had said 20 pages, I believe, earlier,
Right.
Is everyone about 20 pages, or can someone
No,
come
no.
in with a 6-page?
So there are 8 full-size 20-page stories. So it'd be like having like 8 first issue comics in here, and then you have on top of that, a lot of them are 10 pages. There are a few other sizes, but mostly we try to focus. The first time I let everybody kind of pick their own, number count, and it ran into an issue where when a couple people dropped out, then the numbers weren't lining up in the book. So I said, even pages this time, so I can settle things.
Yeah, even pages is a have to. Yeah, you're right on that. So we've got what you said, 80 creators.
There's roughly, yeah, if you count all the letters and the production and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm so happy to have all the editors that help me out and manage it, and it's hard. I try to run 2 at the same time right now, so it's even more. So, and then I'm doing my own stories at the same time.
I don't understand how any of you guys do any anthologies. I respect it. I think it's amazing. I don't understand, because I deal with myself. I don't know how to handle 10 other me's. It doesn't make any sense, and I just respect the hell out of it, because there's no way.
I'm cheating. I'm 100% disabled veteran, so I have a lot more infinite more time than everybody else to sit there and message people and go, please finish your work. So, yeah, I don't know how.
90% of anthology at this time. It's not that.
Saw those messages just saying, please get your work done.
Please.
No, I've heard, I won't give this away because it's not, we like to be positive, but it's not always positive when you're working in an anthology. I mean, it can be an incredible headache to herd these, I'm sorry, cats in your anthology. So I think it's impressive when anyone can do it, especially a 96-page by visibility or a 385-page big hype. So that's pretty amazing.
I seriously don't. Like, honestly, just a 40-something page was enough for us in the first one. And this one, was a lot.
Yeah.
And we have 3 people.
I can't imagine 300, but I'm glad you got a big team.
Yes.
Joey Galva has just popped in. Look at all my favorite people. Well, you're one of our favorite people too, Joey. So
that's right.
Thanks for hopping in. I know could you get Project Big Hype Volume 1? I know I saw you can get the digital. Can you get a physical of that as well?
Yeah, I still have copies of that to send out if people want to get a copy.
Is your postal worker angry at you if someone gets both volumes?
No, I actually had to send a couple. The creators sometimes like up to 9 to 10 copies of the books. So yeah, nobody screamed at me yet. They just said, "Hey, can you change your PO box to we get the credit as opposed to way far away that you have it set at?"
So I think Joey's on the big hype bandwagon. Hype.
Thank you.
That is either is or that is a great coincidence.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, between the 2 volumes, there's no crossover. So if you're coming in, it can be completely fresh, and you're not gonna say, what's going on? I want to eventually get there, but I just thought right now it's probably best just to find new creators and find new voices, and that's the best thing for us.
All right, that is awesome. Well, is there?
I will say I forgot to mention that I also was with the visibility team, was trying to find diverse voices could be a struggle at times, where I was like, yes, I have the right number of people, and then when they drop out, and then I feel like right now we are kind of shy on the female representation, and I feel so bad, but we had more. They got really big gigs, and it was like, so.
Well, you can't be upset when people get a big gig and
Yeah.
and move to it. You have to just appreciate that, you know.
Yeah.
I
just worry because I'm like, no, I made sure I crafted as best as I could, you know.
Yeah, the best and worst problem of an indie creator is the people you work with getting better opportunities, and you just kind of have to, you know, let the bird out of the nest at that point and let them fly. Well, is there any other tier on that? I want to make sure that if there's a tier that you really want people to know about, that we don't miss it.
I always like to just I know times are tough, and if you want, there's a $1 tier, and if you want to, you can even pick out a 20-page story. It's pretty open, so $1, 20 pages of stories. It's there digitally. If you want it, come back, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that by my own kind of prejudice is at some point I'm looking for backer numbers to go up as much as funding. And so there is nothing wrong with putting $1 into a campaign. Sometimes you'll plant a tree with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, before we get going, we're going to do another 30-second pitch, but somebody on this panel is running a campaign. They did a deep dive on it last night. So, Will, I'm not going to let you forget. We forgot it at the beginning. Let's do 30 seconds on Crossover Division. Since you happen to have a book. Yeah.
Fictional realities are threatening to overwhelm and fracture our reality beyond repair, and only an English professor and a research librarian can save us from an unhappy ending. So this is the second part of a two-part story, because the writer, man, he left last issue on a cliffhanger. He's a dick. But this will finish off this arc, and we're on our way to hitting that mythical number 20 and finishing the whole story eventually.
That is awesome. All right, I'm going to do this on my own screen. Cat and Phil, buy visibility.
You go for it.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay. Buy visibility, still buy. Back and
it's actually still buy.
It's actually still buy.
Yeah, since we last talked about it.
Since we last talked about it, still buy. It's back and buyer than ever. 96-page graphic novel all about bisexuality, with 16 stories ranging from romance to sci-fi to action.
There might be even some cats.
Vampire to cats to reality TV. No Excel, but we'll see. I'm campaigning for it.
I forgive you for that.
I think the person who made Excel should be buy. That's the story.
If I'm not the person who made Excel, I might leave my boyfriend.
Oh no! Okay, you know what? I will edit this out. We don't need any fights. We like everybody to have a nice.
Oh, he just does it in the chat.
You're cute. Are you gonna leave him now?
He said I was cute. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just because he didn't make Excel, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back by visibility.
And I don't know if you can see my screen, but I'm coming over to Tarmux. You know what, Lindsay? You won earlier. That means you lose now, right? Or do I have it wrong? Who did the 30-second pitch earlier? Oh, JL. So you've got to do the 30-second pitch.
All right, I'm going to do it. Friends, freaks, folks, and geeks. That's right. Step right up and grab yourself a piping hot cup of Tarmux Java, and it comes with the cup that you get it in. And it comes with a comic that tells you about the backstory of Tarmux, because Cthulhu wants you asleep and Tarmux keeps you awake. So go back Tarmux Comics now. That was
very nice. Twitty's radio guy for the win.
I'm going to go take a nap. No. I'm going to wait for Blake and Doug to get their 30 seconds in.
Blake, it's your turn. You got 30 seconds to get me at a comic convention.
So Territory is a post-apocalyptic kaiju epic where the remaining people worship the kaiju as gods. It's a story about faith and belief, and how our faith is shaped by those around us and changed, and how we deal with our faith being challenged. And I also just wanted to say that I meant to mention this earlier, but we are also doing a $1 donation for each backer to One Tree Planted as well. So I thought it was really cool that Lindsay and JL mentioned that, because kind of, I mean, they covered everything about it, but real life environmental issues are important to me, and I also try to include those kind of in my stories. And I thought that was a cool way to do it on Kickstarter. So I like to see it. That's hopefully spreading, and there will be more creators looking to, kind of offset because there is a carbon cost to making things, unfortunately. And so this is an easy way to help sort of offset that. So I thought that was cool that you guys were doing it, and hopefully that means I'm on the right track.
That's awesome. Doug, I know we just did your deep dive last, but that doesn't mean you don't get to get another 30 seconds for Project Big Height.
If you like things like Shonen Jump or 2000 AD, where you get a lot of creators and a lot of big explosive stories, we're for you. We have different stories like mechs, for shonen fighting characters, and just a bit about everything. It's 370, 80 pages, and I hope you'll enjoy.
Awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate you joining us. You can hang with Will and I as we go through some of the campaigns that have been on the show that are still live, or, out on the West Coast if you're hungry. If you came home from work, sprinting home from work, and you just want to, play some video games or get something to eat, please, you can take off then. But if you want to hang out and see some of the projects we're talking about, you're free to stay too. So Will,
thanks for having us.
Who's first?
Who's first?
It is our pleasure. You know what? We forgot one thing. No, you don't get to go yet. You don't get to go yet.
Hold us.
I want to hear your packaging horror story. So
yes.
Okay.
So the creators know that even on your 10th, 20th campaign, you can...
even if you're part of the Kickstarter Advisory Council, you can still have some packing horror stories.
I take responsibility for this one.
Oh, because you're not part of the Kickstarter Advisory Council.
Yeah, I don't want to tarnish your good name.
So what happened today to cause you guys 2 hours of consternation?
More than 2 hours. We sat down to fulfill our last 2 campaigns.
And we weren't even planning on fulfilling today, actually.
We were planning, and we keep complaining that we're running out of markers, and we need more markers to autograph the comics as we're sending them out. And I was all excited because I bought these new ones, these like sharp-tipped, perfect for comics, as the reviews would lie to you, pens. And we were signing. We were doing everything you're supposed to. We were blowing on them. We set them aside first to dry, and then we put them in the pile. And then we realized probably 150 comics into it that every single one of them smudged. So we had to go through, and it turns out that they were just bad markers.
They were so bad you could just with your thumb take the ink off.
Over an hour after we wrote it. But then the upside is that you actually could wipe it off, so there was no damage. So we spent the rest of the night just cleaning them off and be like, okay, at least we have clean comics for next time.
Yeah, so we did Will's package and one other person.
We did 2 packages.
That's it.
And that was a good day.
And that was our day. And then tomorrow we're going to a Comic-Con, and every weekend we're going to a Comic-Con, so there's just no time to pack.
Yeah. So that's fun.
I'm so envious.
So Shawnee feels your pain.
Yeah, me too.
We do too.
And in fact, we all do. We've all done it. We've all been at the show where you sign it and the person puts it in together and it looks like you killed a mosquito.
Yes.
And you're like, do I give them another book? I usually just give them another book because I feel bad, but it's like, wait, just a moment.
Like, don't do that.
When we were at Pride last week, the wind at some point started just blowing like crazy because we were outside and all the comics were flying all over the place.
I was literally in a tunnel giving my pitch. I was like, "My visibility's about."
But people were so sweet. They were like holding the tent with us as we were explaining.
Literally, the tent was flying away as we were giving our pitches. But
comic fans are great. Mother Nature is not great to us.
Yes.
But we love trees, and we're so glad everyone's planting trees.
Yeah, so we're glad that everyone's planting trees.
Hey, Kat, Phil, I will message you in our chat later, but Kevin turned me on to some really good paint pens.
Nice. Yeah, we need it.
I'll send you the link for them.
Please do. I really appreciate
it.
They still need to dry, but not quite that long.
Yeah,
not as badly.
All right. Sure now you are free to go. I remember we needed to share that story.
No, I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that we could end on that note.
Thanks for having us. Everyone's campaigns looked absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
If you guys are taking off, you have a great night, and thank you. And if you're hanging with us, hang with us, because we got to talk about Scorpio Volume 1, Issues 1 through 3.
Yep.
This is a story about inheritance and what happens when you try to ignore it. The superpower is based on the zodiac signs. There's a young man who was supposed to inherit his father's power and ignored it, and now there is a group of people coming to steal said power. Just a very cool fantasy that's very unique. Little bit of kung fu, a little bit of magic, and a whole lot more zodiac than I know. But I did listen to Lindsay; she knows. So you could tell me about this. But each zodiac sign has a different power, which I thought was really interesting and cool about it.
Producing the End of the World ends on July 5th.
Yeah, that is basically an anthology where every single story is an apocalypse, and just kind of each creative team gets to play with the end of the world any way they want to. So it's a fun thing that the Soda and Telepath people have done. I need to find Curiouser and Curiouser. Our friends at Last Ember Press are going into Lewis Carroll's world with a rebooting, retelling of, well, actually more of a sequel to Alice in Wonderland. Alice's son, Alec, is brought into Wonderland, but like there's a gender-bent Mad Hatter, a Knave of Hearts, etc. The character designs on this are incredible. You should check it out. If you happen to back the Tart Kickstarter, you can back them and you'll get a free Ludovic Salé print, which I recommend because it's unique and cool. And Ludovic did it, so of course it's unique and cool.
And if you back Curiouser and Crossover Division, we have a print by the artist of Curiouser that has both Hank and Hector, and of course the Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter, yeah.
Mad Hatter, which is a really cool print. So yeah,
and they're shrunk down in a teacup hat and like a hot tub. It's a really cute print. So I say you get on both. What do we have? What's closing next? You've got 2 days on Scorpio, and you've got about.
Dark Side of Purity is closing on July 8th.
Dark Side of Purity is a very important anthology, and talk about doing good in the world. Sometimes you have to do good in the world by exposing some of the things that exist in the world that might not be quite as good. I think that some people might think that raising a child in the time of purity might be the best, and I don't want to judge any other parent, but there are some negatives that can come with that, and this anthology does really look into the dark side of purity and how someone might have the best intentions and someone might not. But let's be positive. Someone might have the best intentions and how it might not lead to the best results. So I really think you should look into that. It really reminds me of what Doug's doing with Project Big Hype. Band of Bards is really trying to give creators a chance to go out and get their first work listened to, and trying to make sure that some creators that don't get the megaphone that some creators that look like Will and I do get. So I think it's really great what Band of Bards is doing, and the Dark Side of Purity is an anthology that I definitely think you should look into.
And those covers are incredible.
Yes, the unicorn cover is such a use of negative space. It's so gorgeous.
And I do want to shout out that we've had several projects that have been on the show in the last few weeks have funded. We had Super Heresies Showcase that funded. Rapture Burgers. We didn't get a chance to get MK on here, but Meraki just funded about 3 hours ago, I think. So congrats to MK. Saturn Effect Alpha funded just a little while ago, as did the Golem of Venice Beach.
Yeah,
we didn't have Frank on the show, but Frank Malady, which is his one shot, just funded as well. So congrats to all those creators.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a month for Kickstarters, and tonight we got to meet 4 more. It's incredible. Thank you guys for hanging with us. And next week we've got another great show. We've got Leslie Julian on the docket. We've got who I believe is in Project Big Height. Did I see his name on the page, Doug?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
And we write other stuff. So
cool.
Always happy to see him around.
So he should be on. Pat Shan should be on. We have CK Lawson coming on from Tales from the Cloakroom, the Scott Snyder writing class anthology, and we're gonna have a blast next Friday. And who knows, maybe we'll do a midweek one. Will and I are crazy. We're crazy. We don't know what we're gonna do.
And
but
tired.
I do know that I'm going to go
coffee
to bed.
affected me.
I'm tired too, so I'm going to go to bed. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.